The cocaine screen from urine collected on February 27th at 8:23 a.m. was positive.
Can you give me that date again?
It was February 27th.
Just positive, or did it give you a level?
Greater than 1,000 nanograms per milliliter, and that was for benzoylecgonine, is what they're looking for there.
So that's the metabolite, not the active.
Yes, ma'am.
So neither urine screen was positive for the active cocaine.
When they do the urine drug screen for cocaine, it's usually looking for benzoylecgonine.
Perfect, thank you. You said the other one did run for the methyl ester. Or did
The
I get it
other
wrong?
one, what?
The second one that she was positive on, was that for the methyl ester?
No, that was for benzoylecgonine.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, so the first one was negative for benzoylecgonine, and that second one was positive.
And do you know what kind of urine tests these are? The dipstick test?
I do not remember. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
And do you know what the threshold reporting numbers for those are?
The first one, the cutoff for benzoylecgonine was 300 nanograms per milliliter. So that was the one on February 25th that was negative. And then I don't have the minimum level on the second one. I just saw that it was over 1,000.
Did you make any specific findings during the autopsy that support cocaine ingestion?
There usually aren't specific findings to support cocaine ingestion unless they swallow, like we mentioned before, like a bag that would be remaining in the
Where
stomach.
you could see the bag?
Right.
Okay. Any indication of the method of ingestion?
As what's ingestion, so like a
Did
swallowing.
she drink something, eat something? Was it with a liquid, was it solid food, anything like that?
No.
Is there any way to know the answer to that question?
If it was in food versus liquid, no. Because everything ends up liquid in the stomach eventually.
Is there any indication whether it was just powder itself? No food, no liquid, nothing?
No.
Did you see any evidence that there was forced ingestion?
Oh, like trauma to the face? No.
Bruising to the wrist?
No.
Bruising to the throat?
No. She had a few bruises on her arms, her forearms, her abdomen, her right knee, and her left leg, but nothing that concerned me for any sort of like pressure placed on the neck or the face.
Did the hospital records indicate where those bruises came from?
No.
Have you ever heard of anyone drinking cocaine?
Can't say that I have.
Have you ever worked another cocaine poisoning by oral ingestion?
I have had a case where someone swallowed it.
You put in your autopsy report that Ms. Benning had a history of marijuana use.
Yes.
Where did that information come from?
That was found on the police investigation.
And you go on to say that there was no other illicit drug use.
Yes, ma'am.
What evidence or records did you review to support that statement?
It was in speaking with the police in their investigation. And
Do you
then
know-
we have the urine drug screen that didn't show anything else.
Do you know her drug history outside of that?
That's the drug history that I know.
Did you request hair follicle testing?
No, ma'am.
Did you talk to detectives about hair follicle testing?
No, ma'am.
Would that have helped support your findings?
Hair testing I've seen done more with metals and not so much with illicit drugs.
But it's possible.
I guess it could be. I haven't looked into testing hair for those.
You also put in your report that her behavior since learning of the pregnancy indicated she desired to take care of herself and protect her child by avoiding ingestion of harmful substances.
Yes.
What evidence and records did you review to support that statement?
I was relying on the police investigation for that.
You said you reviewed her medical records and her prenatal records.
Yes.
Were her prenatal records complete?
I had 2 or 3 notes as well as the child's ultrasound.
So were they complete?
That was all that I had. I don't know if there was any more elsewhere, but I collected everything that I could find.
Did you find out who her OBGYN was?
It was through Vanderbilt. I don't recall the exact name off the top of my head.
Did they have a log of her appointments to see if they were regular?
I'm sure they do.
Was there anything in there about her taking prenatal vitamins?
I don't remember.
Did the detectives tell you anything about prenatal vitamins?
I don't remember talking to them about it.
Did you review the EMS records in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did they note anything suspicious about Mr. Taylor's behavior?
Nothing suspicious. I think he was rather upset at the time, and they did comment on that.
Anything suspicious about Miss Jackson's behavior?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Anything suspicious about the circumstances present in the apartment when they were there?
What do you mean by suspicious?
Did they say in their report, we noticed a broken glass on the floor close to where the body was? Was there anything that stood out to them that felt important enough to put into a report?
No.
Any sign of a struggle in the apartment?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Did detectives tell you whether they did any sort of testing the surfaces in the apartment for cocaine?
I think they did collect some items to test for cocaine, yes.
And were any of those positive?
Yes.
Which items were positive?
I think it was the comforter that she vomited on.
Do you know if it was positive through the vomit or somewhere separate?
I believe it was in the area where she had vomited on it.
Any indication whether they tested the food that they ate or the drinks from that night?
I'm not aware of them testing the food. And the results that I have here have to do with the comforter itself.
No cocaine anywhere else in the apartment?
Not that I'm aware of.
Are you aware if detectives got a search warrant for Mr. Taylor?
I don't know.
Did you visit Miss Benning's residence?
No.
Did your medical investigator visit Miss Benning's residence?
Because she was transported to the hospital, we did not.
Okay. So no one from your team went to the hospital or to the apartment?
No, ma'am.
What does manner of death mean?
Manner of death is a classification of death, and there are 6 possible manners on a death certificate. Homicide, suicide, accident, could not be determined, natural, and pending investigation.